Do 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 do. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews. How's everybody doing today? And today we continue our journey into the Peter Capaldi run on Doctor Who. Like it says in the thumbnail, I am a Doctor Who noob. I decided a while ago, with the encouragement of a couple of subscribers, to give Doctor Who a shot. And I decided to start with Peter Capaldi's run. I don't know if I'll continue and go backwards to Christopher Eccleston and David Tennant and Matt Smith, or even further back. But I'm really enjoying it. But I don't know shit about the Doctor Who universe. And I was learning a little bit. I think I've learned some about the universe of Doctor Who. But I'm still a pretty big noob to the whole thing. And so whenever I talk about it, I love hearing everybody explain everything to me in the comment section about all the things that I need to understand about Doctor Who. And last time we talked, we were doing our second pass-through for Face the Raven as we were returning to talk about this. So today we're going to be talking about Heaven Sent, Season 9, Episode 11. And wow, what a doozy of an episode, because I feel like, again, there is a lot to know and a lot to figure out and a lot I need to wrap my head around, and I'm feeling like there's so much in here that I don't understand as far as the lore goes and understanding the world of Doctor Who. But I really, really, really loved the beginning of this episode, and we're going to talk about it right now. But first, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. If you're a new returning subscriber, don't forget to hit the like button anyway. Hit the bell for all notifications, blah, blah, blah. Share this video with other people who like Doctor Who, especially hearing a new perspective on Doctor Who and somebody that you guys can school and inform. Because that's one of the reasons why I do it, is to hear from the community. So, the beginning of this episode, I loved the speech that he gives. And I pulled up the script for the show, and I'm just gonna say it. So he starts out by saying, as you come into this world, something else is born. You begin your life, and it begins a journey towards you. It moves slowly, but it never stops. Wherever you go, whatever path you take, it will follow. Never faster, never slower, always coming. You will run, it will walk. You will rest, it will not. One day you will linger in the same place too long. You will sit too still or slip too deep. And when too late you rise to go, you will notice a second shadow next to yours. Your life will then be over. That is some fucking scary ass shit. It reminded me of the great premise of the movie It Follows. If you have not seen this great, fantastic horror film, it's basically death coming for these people that get an STD curse on them, and wherever they go, something is coming. No matter how far you run, where you go, it's coming. And it is kind of a metaphor for death in general, really. But this line, the way that they put it, that's what it first reminded me of. And I just love how beautifully it's put, that we're dying the moment we're born. And someday it'll catch us up to us. Whether it's when you're really, really, sadly, infants die, or if you live to be 100 and whatever, it eventually gets everyone. Now, again, I joke, it's never going to get... I need to stop doing that because I'm playing with fire. I feel it. I feel like I'm playing with fire, man. I'm going to walk out and get hit by a bus. So, we find after the events of last episode where Clara Clara died. And I'm having a hard time with it. And so was the doctor. And when he was transported to, by whom? Still under debate. I still, maybe again, I would like, if this was answered in this episode, if it was him sending it to himself somehow, no, I feel like that's not it. Whoever talked to Maisie's character, what was she calling herself? I want to say it was like, sounded like a seal door. It's not that. She called herself like her, right? I should have all these notes ready to go, but I have a ton of them. And I gotta find them. Okay, she was calling herself me. This sent him to this place, this castle, this moving puzzle castle, that took me a while. When I finally realized what it was, I thought that was really, really cool. But there is so much going on in this nightmare for the doctor. And right from jump, after he gives this great speech about life, death, rebirth, and again, playing how it plays so well into what happens at the end. This was a really good episode. If I might add, though, I don't 100% understand it. Again, because it's just way over my head. All the lore is way, I feel like I'm missing so much by not seeing everything else. But that this was like the veil in some way. And that he, mentions what Clara says. She's like, I don't want you to change. I don't want you to take revenge. But he's like, yeah, but I don't always listen. But as we see throughout this episode, things change. And this is like just the one perspective that we see upon the many different times that the doctor is going to experience the moments in this episode. And that just blew my mind by the end of like, this is what's really going on, or this is what it takes to get out of this place. And that's just bonkers. So he sees a veiled figure, not unlike the Grim Reaper, and on these screens it is showing how close it is to him at all times. What I thought was really interesting right from the beginning is he's talking shit. Like, I'm coming for whoever this is. If you had anything to do with Clara's death, I'm coming for you. But as soon as he's got this thing near him, he's feeling something he doesn't feel very often. It's fear. And when he's presented with it, he actually flees. And we get, many, many escapes from this, where he, jumps out the window. Let's say when he gets to the room with Clara's painting, he starts seeing little details in the areas. So he jumps out the window and he ends up inside the TARDIS. Now, this is where something I'd like to, again, have clarified for me is sometimes the TARDIS, I know the TARDIS is a real place. I know that they all go there. But in these situations, is the TARDIS kind of like his mind palace? Is it where he goes in the moment to think things out? And if he does, wow, is he a fast thinker? Because you jump out the window of a building, of a castle, whatever. I don't care how far you're falling. It's going to take you, you're going to be falling a lot faster than you're going to be able to be allowed to be in your mind palace. So I love that he thinks things out in his TARDIS, where Clara is with her back to him, which is again really nightmarish and very dreamlike. Is writing on the chalkboard, helping him out, asking questions, trying to answer things. But it's all his subconscious and what he would think she would say and do, and the advice that he would get from her. And I thought that was all really great, except, it was just like, I was waiting for her to like, I'm glad that they didn't have her just turn around or something. I loved how they handled it throughout the majority of the episode. So he's constantly just spending the whole time trying to figure out how to get through this place, finding little clues along the way, digging up the grave that says, I'm number 12. So he needs to find the room that's number 12. He also knows that he has to tell the truth, that he's in an interrogation room. like his own personal interrogation room. And I should have figured this out right from the get-go when he was talking about telling the truth, don't lie, interrogations, and I'm like, oh my God, it's the damn confession dial. I should have known it, but I didn't know it. I literally didn't figure it out at all. I'm usually good with this kind of thing, but I didn't know it at all. And maybe I'm still not right. Because I can't be 100% positive. I'm just going off of my gut. And I love hearing what you guys say about it after the fact. Like, oh, you were almost there. You were like the last horse that almost crosses the finish line and then trips and falls and hits his face and then falls off the horse. You need somebody to drag you over the finish line with the rest of the information. So he tells, he starts telling truths like, I didn't leave Gallifrey because I was bored. I left because I was scared. Stuff like that. But when they were talking about when they talk about Gallifrey, right? And this whole big thing is kind of, there's a secret, right, that needs to come out. And it's all got to do with this hybrid that's rumored to be this half Dalek, half Time Lord. That whether or not it'll be for peace or war or destruction, nobody knows. He knows. And that, everybody wants this information. So I'm like, okay, so this is why he's here. This is what the interrogation's over. He can't keep, he has to keep this secret. Some secrets need to stay secrets. And I guess this has to do with the Time War and the destruction of Gallifrey. And so I was thinking about this, and this question in my brain popped up. Doctor Who's been on for a really long time, right? So, as it's at its initial inception till now, right? Is there somewhere we're going that's just taken a really, really long time, and that each Doctor and each time period that people make the show just add a bit to the lore, to the characters? Is that all this really is to just continue to go and go and go, where different people get to play the part, different directors, different writers, different time periods that show basically from the beginning of like the golden age of television way back in the day, right? We're like 60s, 70s till now. And everybody just kind of puts their own spin and interpretation depending on what time period we're living in. And we just add to the lore and we add to the universe and we add to the character. Or is it really going somewhere? And if not, like if it is the one thing, we're just people are just adding to it. How pissed off do some people get when they get this far? Let's say somebody who started watching at the very beginning and now we're in 2021, right? I haven't watched the new Doctor Who that's been out. I don't plan on it. And despite, what people say about the new Doctor Who, and I know why some of these people are talking about the new Doctor Who, because she's a girl. I only care if the story's good. I'm not going to try to get sidetracked here, but I don't care. I only care if the story's good. I don't care if the Doctor is a woman. I don't care if it's written by women, and I don't care if women want to have a different take on it. If people start going, oh, they're messing with everything. But if it's still going somewhere, right? That's the one thing I kind of want to have explained to me. Do you all, or do you not know? To all of you that watch, is that not really the point? Some things don't really have to have an end, I guess. But I'm just curious, because it feels like it's building towards something, in my own opinion. When thinking about all the things that I don't know and where it all started, and the way that he talks about things that I would know if I had watched, it really does feel like we're headed somewhere big, important, some sort of precipice that maybe that once you reach there, where do you go after? Or will they just retcon something? Or will they, reboot it from like when Eccleston took over? Felt like a lot of people say that that's kind of a reboot almost. So anyway, I didn't mean to get too sidetracked off of that, but that's just what this story started making me think about. So he eventually, he's mapping this place out, and I thought it was pretty interesting that how do you map a place that's a constant moving puzzle, um, and the room's returning to their original state. What all is this telling you? Like he thinks it's like maybe an energy loop, and talking about who moved the stars and all this other stuff, and all these little clues just kind of weirdly put everywhere. There's little oddities that he doesn't understand. The word bird, the skull with the like the diodes or whatever you want to call them attached to it. And he gets to the spantium. Spantium? Is that a real thing? Never heard of it. But it's like a wall, a diamond wall that's like, what did he say it was? Uh, Spantium. Okay, well they didn't. I didn't write down how thick it was, but it was like 20 feet thick and 4 times as strong as a diamond, or 100 times as strong as a diamond, or 400 times as strong as a diamond. I don't know. But he's feeling really frustrated here because he starts hitting it right, and you can't just bust through 20 feet of whatever spantium is. And he wants to just lose. Why can't I just lose? I just want. Why can't it be somebody else's turn to do this? Like, and when he starts talking about time lords and how long they live and how long it takes to die and the regeneration that doesn't always happen right away, and timing everything out. And that it's been at the beginning. He says he's been here for 7,000 years, and he went to 7,000 years in the future. And how long is he going to have to keep burning the old me and make a new one? And then you start to see how it all comes together. That he's gets to the place, goes through everything, sees like things along the way, and each time he gets through a little bit further, he starts punching the diamond until we start hearing him say different longer, like 14,000 years, 100,000 years, 2 million years. And I'm like, holy shit, he's been in this place. He's been trapped inside this place for a really fucking long time. Now, maybe time moves differently in the confession dial. I'm hoping it does because honestly, he come back to Earth like, he can go to different time periods, so it doesn't really matter, really, does it? Right? So he ends up being in there for like 2 billion years plus before he finally cracks through the diamond wall. And along the way, just again, Peter Capaldi. I really wish, just like other British actors, actors or just people from other countries that aren't that I wasn't familiar with when I was younger, and exploring different cultures, actors, and finding a rich pageantry of awesome actors that I'm so glad I've found in my as I've gotten older. And Peter Capaldi, people like him, I'm just so pleased to finally find, you know, these actors that just kill it, and he kills it. And I've been digging into like character actors like him and Hugh Laurie's past, um, who have these amazing careers that I have, and all these things that they've been in that I can now watch and appreciate with a new kind of understanding and appreciation. And this is why I don't know if I'll go past Capaldi or go backwards, because I'm just liking this too much, his performance too much, and I would hate to have it sullied. But we'll see. Again, we'll see. But he finally gets out. They do have a little cameo from the actress who plays Clara, Jenna Coleman, telling him to, it's time to get up off your ass and. So he finally breaks through, and I'm writing down questions to ask you guys, and writing down questions for myself to try to keep things straight. But he finally gets through the entity that falls down, and he's like, that was a really nice bird. And he finally gets out. You see that it was the confession dial he was in, and the whole thing like gears up and closes again. And a young boy comes running up, because I guess there's always a young boy in the middle of the desert. It happens a lot. Think about it. people that are in the desert in movies and stuff, all of a sudden there's just some kid there that runs up like, who are you? What are you doing here? He tells them to find somebody important and tell them I'm on my way. I just took the long way around. And that's Gallifrey in the distance, right? Didn't he put it somewhere? Isn't this the secret place that it got put? And you find out that there is no half Dalek, half Time Lord. The Daleks would never allow that to happen. And that the person that's prophesied to stand over the remains of Gallifrey is the hybrid. And the hybrid is him. I'm like, holy shit. And that's where the episode ends. And this is like, okay, I'm happy to finally be talking about a new episode of Doctor Who I hadn't seen. New for me. New for me. And so I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me talk about it and try to wonder what's going on. We will be back with episode 12 pretty soon. We're going to cover all of it. I see that there's more than that. There's like a Christmas special and another special after that and other things. So, and there's still more Capaldi. We're going to just be parceling it out. I don't have the time in my schedule anymore to just keep cranking these out. I'm doing a lot of stuff on the channel. So hopefully within the next 2 weeks, we should have another one of these up. Maybe a little bit before then. I don't know. But if you like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications. If you hated everything I said and somehow sort of masochist made your way to the end here, we can give you a better memory. So I will do a little bit of changing around here, give you guys the last 22 minutes or so back to your life. All of you that liked it, please look away. For those of you who hated this, look right here and I'll give you a better memory. Oh, gotta actually press the button. Here is the memory I choose to give you. Have a great day. Bye.
I am totally beyond the realms of your fucking tousle-haired, fucking dim-witted compra fucking henching. I don't just take this fucking job home, you know. I take this job home, it fucking ties me to the bed, and it fucking fucks me from arsehole to breakfast.